First off, I want to start telling you a little bit about Dana. We're an automotive manufacturer. So like Kathy, we deal in the space of manufacturing, right? We've been around since 1904. Our 2018 sales are around 8 billion. We service pretty much every automotive manufacturer that's out there. We do a lot of work with Ford, GM, Chrysler. We like to say if you drive a pickup truck, it's likely a Dana axle. We have 145 major facilities all over the world. We do a lot in 33 different countries across 6 continents. We have 15,000 customers, and we're trying to do a digital transformation across all of those facilities. So you can imagine it's quite the task. Up to this year, we started in 2017. I think so far we've done about 30 plants. So we're moving pretty aggressively. We try to do roughly 20 plants a year, and we try to start from the bottom, the shop floor, with connecting all of our assets, getting the data, making impactful decisions on that data, and then eventually getting it into an end-to-end full digital enterprise. I want to talk about a couple very specific examples. We sit in a lot of these conferences and we hear a lot about theory. We hear a lot about ideas, but I want to give some actual real examples of how we leverage IT technology to make an impact on the manufacturing floor. So here's a perfect example, like Kathy was explaining before. An operator never messes with the machine, right? Absolutely not. There's never any scenario where anybody made a different touch point, changed a robot point. So here's an example of a day. We had quite a bit of fallout. So this is a 24-hour production period. We had, I think during that day, we had about 80 pieces of scrap, which is, in our world, that equates to a lot of money. So the next morning, sitting around a roundtable meeting, looking at the data, trying to understand how did this happen, what caused it. So we take a look very quickly. Previously, this would have required trying to find some Excel sheet, trying to get some data out of the PLC. Maybe there's a log file on there. Maybe someone put a data logger, looking through all types of data, operator notes, supervisor notes, maintenance guy notes, trying to figure out where did something happen that caused this fallout. So what we did now with our solution partner, Argonaut, they have a genealogy and traceability system that we use pretty much all of our plants now. So what we can do is at the click of a button, I can grab 24 hours worth of data, look at it very quickly and see that at those few hours of time, there was definitely a change, right? So we can see there's some spikes there. What that lets us do now is now we know we have a very specific data point that affects our production scenarios, right? So we know that this piece of data can impact the way our product is built. So what we can do now with modern technology is we create automated alerts. So through the configuration, through our web app, we don't have to do any coding. There's nothing custom that happens. I can click a button, put an alert on that tag so that when it changes from 30% of the nominal, somebody in quality gets an alert and can look at that right away. So we go from 100 pieces in a day that failed to maybe 20 pieces in that first hour before someone was notified and created an alert. This is more than just data for the plant. This is now becoming a customer requirement for everybody that we do business with. For the Fords, the GMs, the Chryslers of the world will no longer accept product from us if it doesn't have a full traceability birth certificate with it. What that means is not only do we have to collect all of the subcomponents that went into that axle, but we have to collect all the data as well. We have to ship that data with that product when it goes to the customer. This is quite a big change from the way things usually were done. In the past, traditionally, it was only in the event of a warranty or a recall claim that we had to look at this stuff. But nowadays, it's becoming more and more an immediate need for all of our customers. So this is, we talk about what drives digital transformation. We get lucky at Dana that it's mostly driven by our customers. So we get to take that and leverage that to sell it to the leadership team that this isn't just something that's happening, it's a requirement to do business in the future. And we see this a lot across our business units, not just in the automotive side. I want to talk about the second one, which I think is a more popular one, is maintenance, right? How do we leverage IT technology to improve maintenance operations? So what we did here through our partner with Ignition, we collect data out of every single one of our pieces of equipment, right? We collect all of our fault codes, all of our downtime reasons. And traditionally, this data is just kept in a report. Anybody at any time can go and look at their top 10 or top 5 downtime reasons. We can gather any type of reporting around, what causes the most failures. All that stuff is pretty traditional in the world of SCADA and downtime reporting. What we do now with our partner at eMate, which is our cloud CMMS system, we've created an API that drives from Ignition that anytime we see a certain fault 3 times in a row or 5 times in an hour, we can now automatically create a work order ticket and have a maintenance technician go and look at that line. So we no longer have to wait for somebody to notice that a piece of machinery is down. it automatically happens within a few seconds that alert is created and somebody's going to look at that. We also, through the cloud-based eMate software, we can now compare similar equipment across all of our different plants, because as you can imagine, making an axle is pretty similar. It doesn't matter what type of axle it is. We can now compare those different types of maintenance records across all of our plants to see where do we have the most common problems, and then we can affect the way we build our machinery in the future. So this one is driven quite a bit by our maintenance group. We're pretty lucky that we have a very talented maintenance team, but like Kathy said, those guys have been around for a very long time and they're starting to leave. So what we can do with eMate now is we have digital records of every one of those repairs, what they did to fix it, and it's stored on the cloud, easily accessible to that new guy that's gonna, or our Casey, that's gonna go and look and fix on that line. So we hear a lot about the impact of technology and Industry 4.0 from the shop floor space. But I think it's very important to notice that the shop floor is not the only place where we can expect to pick up some gains, right? There is a whole world of data that can be fed to your ERPs, a whole world of data that can be fed to your quality systems, your maintenance systems. You can affect operations, your shop floor timing studies, operator guidance. There's so much power now with the ability to use cloud platforms to leverage edge devices. We're in a partnership with Microsoft to see how we can reduce the complexity and the infrastructure required for all of our plants. All of that cloud edge technology is starting to really make an impact on the shop floor. I don't have much of a slide. I like to live in the world of a lot of Q&A. I feel like that's the best way to move forward. So I'm going to keep my presentation pretty short. So if you want to find me anytime after this, I think it's I love to chat. Right? I think we're living at a time now that there's never been a better time to leverage IT technology in the shop floor. I think we are truly in a space that's never been seen before, where we can make such a change and such a difference in the way we move forward in manufacturing. I think it's a pretty cool time. Thank you very much.